So again, welcome everyone. I'm Luann Fortune with Mind Body Medicine. I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues tonight, Dr. Gina Belton, Dr. Celine Vega, and Dr. McLean had to step away, won't be able to be with us tonight. We sent her good intentions. And Dean Moss is also with us. So we invite you to come on in and to celebrate the end of this day in the middle of the virtual learning experience, whether you are in virtually or you're physically in Pasadena. We're glad you're with us tonight. We'll be, as our style is, handing off the meditations in different segments, so there's something here for everyone. I'm doing the welcoming now. And then I'll pick up the first meditation with a loving kindness and compassion, guided meditation. Dr. Belton will do an ancestor walk with us. Dr. Vega will lead us through some movement work. So allow yourself, if you're comfortable, to move along with that. And Dean Moss will close us. Before we come to our first meditation, again, I invite you to get comfortable. And I'd like to introduce an idea that I've played around with a lot the last few months, and the distinction is between grounding and centering. So tonight we're going to be both grounding and centering. And in interest of grounding, I encourage you to look around your room and take care of anything you need to take care of to make yourself comfortable. Whether it's rearranging your pillows and your furniture, or changing your position, or even stretching out into the space around you, or closing your door, or turning off your cell phone. And then allowing yourself space to breathe, and perhaps permission to take this time for yourself just to be and to be present. Breathing in and out. And then before we go completely onto the first meditation, I'd invite you to do a little centering. And for me, the most accessible place to do that is through my breath. So if you're comfortable doing so, let your eyes go closed or let them gently rest somewhere. And as you breathe normally and naturally, allow yourself to focus on your inhale, the pause in between, and then your exhale. And if it's helpful to gaze on the screen, I invite you to do that too. Focusing on your breath in and out. Giving yourself permission to take this time of stillness to simply sit with the busyness and the organic synthesis of the day, of these exciting days that we have during this exciting time together, which can be very challenging, very rewarding, very fulfilling, and also tiring. So as you're breathing in and out, I invite you to notice that you breathe in the present moment. And if during our time together you find yourself called away for some reason, either physical or mental, to rejoin us, you might begin by focusing again on your breathing, breathing in and out. I'm going to open us tonight with a segment on loving kindness and compassion, which comes from a tradition that some of you might know as metta. It also shows up often in the research and the literature, as well as many spiritual and religious practices, and comes from many different traditions. And tonight I invite you to begin with ourselves. So as you continue to breathe in and out, perhaps with your eyes closed, I invite you to join me, and if it's comfortable following my words, do so. Or if you have other words or images that come up for you, that is okay too. So as you're breathing in and breathing out, I invite you to direct your attention to yourself in this very present moment, and see if you can conjure up warm feelings to yourself. Warm feelings, not just for what you've done today and this week, but for who you are, for your very being. Allow yourself to see if any love comes through, centering on your heart, on that place in the middle of your chest, the place of the green chakra that opens up and flows. And as you focus on yourself, see if you can send yourself very gentle love, admiration, respect, and kindness. And silently repeat the following phrases to yourself. May I be free from inner and outer harm and danger. May I be safe and protected. Breathing in and out. May I be free of mental suffering or distress. May I be happy. May I be free of physical pain and suffering. May I be healthy and strong. May I be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Take a generous breath in and out. And allow yourself to hold on to the feelings, the good intentions toward yourself. And now allow your mind to rest, your attention, your focus to rest on someone who's very dear to you, someone who you might love unconditionally, someone who brings you joy and a smile to your lips just to think about, and a smile to your heart to conjure. And as you bring up the image of that person, or that critter, might be a four-legged or a winged, say to yourself, my beloved, may you be free from inner and outer harm and danger. May you be safe and protected. May you be free of mental suffering or distress. May you be happy. May you be free of physical pain and suffering. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. Breathing in and breathing out. Send those intentions to your beloved and hold them in your heart. And sit with that for just a moment. And now let your heart be a little more open and make space to invite in someone who might be neutral to you. Maybe it's someone who brings you your coffee at the barista in the morning, or someone who you pass as you're walking your dog, or someone who brings you the mail, someone who you might not know very well, but make space for them. And as you conjure up them in your mind's eye and the space in your heart, repeat to yourself, may you be free from inner and outer harm and danger. May you be safe and protected. May you be free of mental suffering or distress. May you be happy. May you be free of physical pain and suffering. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Deep breath, or generous breath, or great breath, or comfortable breath in and out. And sit with that for a moment, holding loving kindness, compassion. And then in your heart space, see if there's room to invite in another, to the extent that you are able. Think of someone who challenges you. And to the extent that you can, bring that person also into your heart and your intentions, to the extent that you can right now. And silently repeat to yourself, may you be free from inner and outer harm and danger. May you be safe and protected. May you be free of mental suffering or distress. May you be happy. May you be free of physical pain and suffering. May you be healthy and strong. May you be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and at ease. Breathing in, breathing out. And let yourself sit with that for a moment, extending loving kindness and compassion. And as you continue to breathe, see if there's space in your heart opening to open up to all people. And in your mind's eye, in that space of your heart, see if you can bring in people from your village, from your region, from lands past and future, until you extend your intention all over the planet. See if you can take all of that energy from your heart chakra, put it out into the universe, into all of the people and all of the four-legged and the winged and all of the creatures that tread this planet and the universe. Send out loving kindness and compassion and repeat to yourself. May you all be free from inner and outer harm and danger. May I be safe, and may you be safe, and may we be safe and protected. May we be free of mental suffering and distress. May we be happy. May we be free of physical pain and suffering. May we be healthy and strong. And may we be able to live in this world peacefully, joyfully, and with ease, for the good of ourselves and the good of each other, sending loving kindness and compassion to all. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you continue to breathe and sit with this, notice if anything in particular comes up for you. And in this moment, I'm actually going to pause the recording. And if anyone would simply like to speak out, take themselves off of, and invite everyone again to take a generous breath in. Maybe you need to open up your arms and stretch. Maybe give yourself a hug. Maybe make this moment a moment of oxytocin for yourself again. Breathing in love, kindness, compassion for everyone in this circle who has joined us tonight, and the very special work we have in our journeys ahead. Thank you, and I'm going to hand over right now to Dr. Belton.
Thank you, Dr. Fortune. Mm. We'll take the next few moments to join together in an ancestor walk. We are turning toward the fall season, and around this time of year, many human families center their attention and intentions on the ancestors in different ways. In this moment together, you'll be invited to enjoy a walk to greet your ancestors in remembering their generous wisdom as gifts of resilience for you to embrace. We've all been dreamed here by the love of thousands, this very moment. So again, centering ourselves, let's arrive together as we often do by greeting this generous companion that is our body. Exploring a position that is comfortable while still alert, uplifted, and dignified, at ease in this moment. When you have found your seat between heaven and earth, in this mysterious form that is your being human, bring your attention once again to your breath. What is the experience of your breath in this body? Breath breathing you still while still moving, like the wind gently brushing through the leaves of a tree. Now bring your attention to an image of a tree, a giant tree, greater than any tree you have ever seen. This is the world tree, a gateway between the worlds. Notice between you and the world tree, there's a doorway, a portal you can easily pass through. Inhale curiosity and exhale doubt. Step through and stand before the great tree. Hear the wind in its branches. Smell the earth where the roots dig in deep. Reach out and feel the bark. As you keep your hands on the bark, hold the intention of connecting with an ancestor to support you in your part to restore balance to the world. In your part to restore balance to the world. Inhale spaciousness and exhale tension. Breathing in deeply, search among the roots of the tree for an opening. When you find it, step through and onto a fresh path that is both new and yet familiar. Now begin walking. Gently with intention and purpose. You notice the path slopes gently downward. You follow the path down the unfolding spiral, becoming more relaxed and at ease with each step. Continue to follow the path and notice what is around you. Familiar plants, bird song, insects buzzing around. Notice how the landscape itself nourishes you as the path continues to spiral gently downward. You walk until you see a light, flickering like a fire. Walk toward this fire. The pathway ends in a forest clearing. There's a great fire in the middle of this clearing, and around the fire are the spirits of the ancestors, your ancestors. Breathe deeply and feel the emergence of their support. The ancestors are quietly watching the fire. Stand patiently at the edge of the clearing until one of them leaves the circle and comes to join you. This may be a recent ancestor, someone you knew in life, or it may be someone from a more distant past, unknown to you, but somehow still familiar. It may be an ancestor of blood or an ancestor of spirit. If you don't recognize the ancestor, introduce yourself. Your ancestor whispers that they have a gift for you and walks with you back to the circle, and you take your seats around the fire. Others around the circle begin to quietly speak. They say, the ancestors sat across fires and discovered and nurtured and tended to the knowledge of the true nature of our existence in a way that could not have been tended to in any other way than across a fire in a forest. So too other ancestors that tended fires on a savanna or in a new land or on an island. Through the expanse of our ancestors' existence, they journeyed and encountered the mystery of getting lost and finding home, of discovering the universe and themselves over and over, and falling into the uncountable, unfathomable natures that we each encompass. Embrace these gifts. Embrace endurance. Embrace the gifts of the ancestor leaders and the scouts, the climbers and the hunters, and the ones who knew which game to stalk. Embrace the wisdom of the leaders who divined which mountain to follow, which river to cross, who learned secrets of landscapes and forests, and the ancestors who had the gift of learning and keeping the wisdom of a single plant. Embrace the curiosity and courage of your ancestors. Embrace the courage of the ancestors who believed in dragons and went into the unknown anyway. And the intrepid nature of the ancestors who learned to slay the dragons of their own minds. Embrace these gifts. Breathing in and breathing out. Take a moment to ask your ancestor a single question for guidance about your role in restoring balance to your lived experience today. Do this now. Hold this gift in your heart. Hold this gift of their response, this guidance from your ancestor, close to your heart, a compass your North Star. The ancestors have given generously to you, support you in your work in the world. Take a moment now to search within yourself to see if you have a gift to offer in return. This is the way of reciprocity. What is your gift? Thank your ancestor guide and the others around the fire for their support and wisdom while on this walk. Bow to all in the circle and turn back toward the path. Follow the spiral path as it slopes back upward, walking intentionally, gently, with purpose. Walking, walking, until you are once again at the base of the world tree. Hold your hands to the bark of the tree. Gently offer an embrace if you wish. And certainly offer the tree thanks for facilitating the journey. Deep inhale, spacious exhale. Now step back into this moment. Come back, come back, come back to this place and this time. Welcome, welcome home. And if you wish, we can stop the recording.
Welcome. And I am going to take a moment here to set things up because we're going to do some movement here, mindful movement, connecting with the body. And for that, at some point here, I'm going to want music. And I need to not have that slide so I can do that. Thank you. Let me get this set up so that we'll be ready when the time comes. So often we think that meditation or mindfulness is about being absolutely still. And of course, we are not capable of being absolutely still as long as we're alive and we're breathing. So let's take a moment here just to be aware of the movement that's already happening in your body. That movement that happens as you breathe. The way that your lungs open up to bring in that air. The way things move in your chest, shoulders, back to allow yourself to fill with that air. And the way things gently release as the breath goes. All this at your own breath pace. And we often in our meditation times, our mindfulness times, we're working to have our posture nicely aligned and lifted. But I want to take a moment here to really allow ourselves to collapse, to let yourself just drop. Let your head drop, let your shoulders drop, let your body curl, spine curl. Just breathing everything out into a release that takes your body into almost a curled up position. Just relaxing into that. And on your next breath up and in, I invite you to let your spine find its way back up, each vertebra lifting up on top of the one underneath it, letting your head come up on top of your neck, maybe even having a sense of a lift that goes on, lifting your head up into the sky, into the room, into the space above you. And let's try that one again. This time, letting yourself kind of circle down and around on the out breath, right into a collapse. Just maybe you'll find that your spine kind of enjoys that sense of stretch, of curling down, feeling the release out of that lifted, aligned place. Just letting yourself shift a little bit here into that curl. And on your next in breath, inviting you again to lift up out of that spine, growing, lengthening from the bottom up through shoulders and neck and head, and the top of your head lifting, making lots of space. And just feeling how your breath can move in you with that opening. I'm going to give us a little bit of music here from Hideo Black Moon called Sink into Skin, so that we can sink into our skin together. Now that we're up and aligned, see if you can find just a little bit of movement here. It's as simple as just a shift of your head from left to right. Not very far, but just to remind you of movement in your neck. Feeling the heaviness of your head as it lifts and releases. Just kind of exploring what your head might like to do. And from your head, I'm gonna invite you to explore what your face might like to do. Perhaps scrunching all in, maybe opening wide with a yawn. Just playing around with those muscles in your face. Moving jaws forward, back, all around. Experimenting with forehead and eyes, cheeks. Out. And on your next inhale, I invite you to see your arms might want to expand out, reaching out from shoulder sockets all the way out, through elbows, out to wrists, out to fingers. Seeing where they might like to reach. Maybe it's up. Maybe one is up and one is out. Maybe they're exploring to see how far back they can go. Maybe they're reaching out in front, letting the upper back get a little bit of a stretch. Just letting those arms explore all notice as you're exploring with your arms that your whole torso is getting pulled into this movement. Maybe it's curling around, maybe it's reaching out to one side or the other with arms, maybe it's arching around to the back. Just playing with your upper body here, all the way down through your spine, seeing what ripples might want to happen, what gentle touches of the air around you might want to happen. You might even feel pulled to get up, to stand. You don't have to, but if you feel pulled, just to give yourself a little bit more space and to allow that movement to perhaps work its way down into your hips. Maybe they would like to circle around. Maybe just push to one side or another, forward and back. Maybe your hips want to take your whole spine and upper body for a ride around. And of course, every place that we've awakened is free to be the focus, to take the movement and go with it. Maybe your shoulders really want to do this. But you also might find your attention moving down your legs from your hips into knees, legs, really feeling your feet. If they're not on the ground, feeling the air around them. If your feet are on the ground, really feeling that solid ground underneath, how it's holding your body up, how you can push into it, push away from it. You can play with it. And now just really allowing whatever movement wants to happen in your body. And maybe it's very subtle. You might be just sitting in one place and feeling your breath still. Or you might be up and whirling around, because each of us has our own rhythm, our own way to relate to those movements that are happening in our body, and places in us that are asking for whatever we might do to attend to. Maybe it's a touch with your hands on a part of your body that really would like to feel that touch. Maybe there's a particular place where you have pain or aches and you want to put your hands there. Bring that warmth, that attention in your hands to a place in your body that could use a little healing. We're going to slowly work our way back into a quiet space here. And take the music down. Now just taking this moment to listen into your body. Feeling your heartbeat. Maybe even putting your hands on your heart to feel that heartbeat. Listening to any messages that are there from any places in your body. or from the whole thing. Being aware again of the movement that is always there inside your body. Some of it you're able to connect with your breath, for example. You can feel your heartbeat. But just knowing also the movement of fluids through you, movement of the cells, movements in your digestive system. So much activity going on inside your body. And coming back again to that compassion and loving kindness for yourself, for your body, for all that you experience now and in these days. And I pass the talking stick here back to Dr. Fortune.
I have to unmute myself, though. Thank you, Dr. Vega. That was invigorating as well as mindful. It is actually time now for me to pass along to Dr. Moss. And I am going to share my screen now because we have a lovely slide here. And I'm going to pass it along to you, Don. Are you ready?
Thank you, Luann. Thank you for that. And thanks to each of our spiritual guides of the evening. I will close by retracing the journey, the meditative journey of this evening. We begin with Dr. Luann. We begin with breathing. She invited us to breathe, and I invite us now to close with breathing. Letting go of the day, letting go of the stress of life. And then she invited us on a journey of loving kindness and compassion, drawing on the Buddhist tradition of metta, drawing on the roots in many spiritual traditions of compassion and caring, beginning with self-compassion, wishing well to ourselves. May I be free from inner harm. May I live in this world peacefully. Moving further along the path of compassion to compassion for someone dear. May you, dear one, be free from harm, inner harm and outer harm. May you live in this world peacefully. Moving further to compassion for someone challenging in our lives. May you, O challenging one, live peacefully in this world. And then global compassion, compassion for all human beings, all sentient beings globally. And then our path was taken up and guided by Dr. Gina, moving farther along the path to an ancestor walk, entering a walk with our own ancestors, seated first in our own bodies, suspended between heaven and earth. And isn't that what it means to be a human being? Experiencing our bodies, experiencing our breathing, encountering the image of a tree, the world tree, connecting with an ancestor, to restore balance to the world, to our soul. Walking gently along the path downward, encountering a circle of ancestors around a fire. And one ancestor in particular approaches us and shares a gift. And in this encounter, in this gift, we discover a new balancing in our own souls. And then Dr. Gina handed on the talking stick to Dr. Celine, who invited us on the path of mindful movement. Meditation is more than sitting, more than silence. Moving further along the path of this evening, Celine invited us to feel the movement of our own breathing in our own bodies, releasing the tension in our bodies, allowing our bodies to collapse, and then our bodies to lift again, to rise up again. She invited us to circle around in our bodies with our breathing, discovering a strengthening alignment in ourselves, and then introduced music. And the music, our bodies join with the music, our hearts fill with the music. Movement is dawning, and then the movement grows with the crescendo of the music. We flow in ourselves further into the movement, our bodies entering a kind of spontaneous dance with the music, entering into the music, experiencing the merging of ourselves and the music, feeling a rising momentum in the rhythms of the music. And then finally, as the music ebbs, we discover a moment of listening to our own bodies, to our own heartbeats. Closing an evening of a meditative journey, a journey of body, mind, and spirit. A journey of compassion, a journey of ancestors, a journey of movement, a journey of music. And now we close with just 1 minute of breathing together. Breathing gently, allowing your breath to become smooth and even, relaxed, gentle and slow. Breathing in, breathing out. Closing out the circle of our evening's meditation. And now stretch, and I hand back to Luann to remind us of the resources available in our mindful moments in the weeks to come.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. I'm actually going to stop the recording